what's up everybody? This is Brandon here again at Emerald Coast Pro Plus Detailing in Gulf Breeze, Florida. Hope you're staying safe, and we're doing another rendition here of the detail review. Alright, so today we're just doing a cool little comparison here, one with a new product, one with another product you may not have heard of. Just a head-to-head comparison here. We have Meguiar ceramic detailer, and we have clearfinish silica perfect wash. A couple different ways you can use these products. They can be used as kind of like a waterless quick detailer in a sense. They've got some emulsifying and cleansing properties, also some protection properties. So you can also use them as a clay lube and as a standalone protectant. So we're going to kind of put that through all of those different ways you can use them on a daily driver car. It's a car that we see monthly. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to do some comparing and contrasting with the products, let the car go through a whole month, and then follow up and see how they perform. Like I said, I'm going to use them as a standalone, kind of like a waterless wash slash detailer, how they're really made to be used. But like I said, I'm also going to use them as a clay lube, and then use them as a last step protectant, so kind of as like a sealant, and see how they perform. So take a look at the application process, the follow-up, and see how these things do. Alright, so first thing we're going to be doing here with the Meguiar's hybrid ceramic detailer, and I don't have the bottle, but it's the clearfinish silica perfect wash detailer. We're going to do a bug test, so you can see that there's quite a bit of bugs on here. So I'm going to do the Meguiar's here, and I'm going to do the clearfinish silica perfect wash here. So this is going to kind of test emulsification of the product, how well it lifts the dirt. All I'm going to be using is an auto fiber rinse or a flip mitt. So I'm going to use it on basically inside out on each side. This is just wet. This doesn't have anything else on it. So these are basically both meant to be a waterless type cleaner, where you just kind of spray on and wipe away, and it cleans and protects in one. I will look up the technical sheets on these to see what is what. I'm using more of this product because I have a different sprayer. I guess I could have the same sprayers, but the Meguiar's does look a little bit thicker. I guess that could be like test one. It seems to go on a lot thicker. I don't know how well the camera can pick it up, and I don't know how well that will, and it could just be my sprayer, how well it affects. But the P1, I'll grab the bottle just to have it, because I don't have a label for a small sprayer. Or I shouldn't say the P1, the clearfinish. Clearfinish makes P1, I use a lot, but the SPW, the Silica Perfect Wash, it seems to be a bit more watery. See if we can get that with the camera. It looks like it's staying on a little bit thicker. This seems like it's kind of drying out a little bit, maybe. But what I'm going to do here is just take my flip mitt. I'm going to spray a little bit on here and just kind of do general wiping and see how well it does. So that did pretty good with just one wipe. Obviously it didn't get everything off. I'm not really putting a lot of pressure, it's just gliding my hand over it. So what I will do is I will spray it again and see how well it takes off. I'll let that sit. I'm going to flip the mitt to the other side, and I'll do the SPW. And SPW did pretty good too. So this bumper definitely is dirty. So this is a good test. So now we'll do a second pass, and now what I'll try to do is really focus on trying to clean this up and how much surface tension is used and whatnot. So I'll just kind of I am putting a little bit of pressure here to get these bugs off. But it doesn't feel, I guess, gritty is the word I'm looking for. It's relatively smooth. And again, this is just a bug test. It's going to be hard to get all these off. You really would want to use a bug remover, but the purpose for this test is to see how well it works, because that's what these are kind of used for. Is a waterless type scenario. You know, this says it enhances waxes, coatings, sealants, things like that. Great beating action. You know, this is the first time using this, so yeah, I'm just reading the back here. Probably should have done it before, but they're both basically silica, and you can use them in multiple different ways. I'm going to do another test on the hood. I'm going to wash it with just regular O&R first, and then put this on and see how well the water beads, and of course we'll be able to test it on the bumper as well. So using it as a detailer and a sealant. Shut that off! People got their phones going off. Ruining my video. A little bit more pressure needed. I don't know if it's just because this side had some heavier bugs. But again, I mean, this is just a test to see how well the product works. It does work. But still, like, I'm putting pressure there. I'm having to put pressure there. But it does remove them, which is pretty good, because there have been cars like this where I've just used traditional soap, and you know, I'm having to do a nano clay or something like that to get them off. So pretty evenly matched. I think it'll really kind of come down to longevity, which we'll test this and see. And this bumper already has, you know, some damage. This car is relatively new, but when the bugs sit too long. But the more, in both aspects, the more you work these products in, the better they work. So I think they both did a pretty good job. And of course, this is white, so you're going to see everything. But they both remove bugs, you know, pretty well. So as far as a waterless type setup, I think they did pretty good. So we'll move on to the hood and see how that goes. All right, so now we're moving on to the hood. And it still has some bugs. I just kind of did like a quick O&R wipe down just to get some of the dirt off, because I don't want to mar this hood. This is still a customer's car, so I don't want to be polishing it for her. So basically loading this side up with Meguiar's, the hybrid ceramic detailer, and this side here with the SPW by Clearfinish. So O&R, because this is basically a raw hood, it doesn't add any protectant. It's soy-based. I know O&R is an Optimum brand. We're not comparing it, but just letting you know, when you put it on, it's basically just general water. As soon as I spray both of these on, it starts repelling them. So that shows me that both of them have pretty good hydrophobics within the detail spray. It looks like the Meguiar's though is kind of beating up a little bit more. I don't know how well you can see that in the video. There's definitely two different types of reactions. This seems like it's pulling it more. This seems like it's kind of beating up. I don't know if that affects anything. We'll definitely see in the hydrophobics video. But so again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this a little bit different. I'm going to wash this. I'm going to nano clay it, and then I'm going to wash it again. That way we can kind of see how it works as a clay lubricant. Because that could be a versatile factor in which one works better. So because it's been cleaned a little bit here, I'm just going to kind of go over this thoroughly. But there was a bunch of dirt that was stuck to it. It's like, I don't know what it is. It's like, not sap, but just some sort of environmental dirt. And the Meguiar's just took it right off. So it definitely has strong cleaning power. I really thought this stuff was just going to be like a chemical guy's kind of product, and it's actually working pretty good. It definitely has strong cleaning power. So if this stuff can last a decent amount of time, this may be something that I actually add to my arsenal here for a quicker cleaner. And realistically here now, the clear finish, it's still cleaning pretty good. Yeah, I mean they're both cleaning very, very effectively. Both have great amounts of lubricity. I think really what it's going to come down to is longevity. They both clean pretty similarly, if I could talk. There are some little specks of things that neither one of them are getting off, but that's why we're going to do a synthetic clay here. So what I'm going to do is spray the Meguiar's down one more time, and then spray the SPW. And before I nano clay this, I just kind of want to show you some of the things that are being left behind here. So it's nothing crazy, like that may not even come out. That I could probably scrub better. I hate using that term, but there's just little things that lifted off with my finger that you don't want to get too aggressive. There's a little dot. That's probably some fallout, so that may not come off. But there's some very minor spots that it's not fully getting off from the bugs, but it's pretty even across the board. Right now, one is not outperforming the other. So now I'll use two different clay mitts here, or clay towels, whatever you want to call them. We'll edit that out, don't worry. Alright, so we're going to start claying this. Very slick. Trying to see if I get it to slide in a little bit. So those little spots that were left over, the nano clay took them off. Just gonna grab a drying towel here and dry this off. We'll make this an auto fiber special guest appearance. We'll use a mini dreadnought here. So drying it's very easy. I also want to look for streaking though, which it'll be kind of hard to see on white. But that'll definitely be one of the factors in the test. I am seeing a little bit here. We'll see if it dissipates after it kind of sits. But it dries pretty easy. There is some streaking I noticed on the Meguiar side. The SPW seems a little bit more slicker. The Meguiar's kind of, when I did this the one time, the mitt kind of stuck. It's not doing it with the SPW, and even though it's drying out right now, it's still very slick. So, for lubricity, there may be a slight advantage to SPW. And for the claying, it cleaned up all those areas. So, drying is super easy. I think it's actually a little bit easier than the Meguiar's. And there is no streaking whatsoever. Like it's like flawless. Like there were streaks. It almost looked like a spray wax. There's absolutely nothing. It's crystal clear. The Meguiar's did kind of dissipate, but I can still see some lines almost, and I doubt the camera would be able to pick them up. And that could be too much product. However, when I wipe it here a second time, it is kind of taking it off. But I can still see some streaks up here, like it's almost like I'm chasing it, I'm smearing it around. So it could be the towel. However, dreadnoughts, I mean, they soak everything up. These are both super slick too. I hate doing this test because it's cheesy, and I feel like I'm gonna have to polish the hood, but it slides right away. Yeah, I mean, they're both super slick. I just hate doing that because I feel like I'm gonna scratch your paint. Let me see if I can find something that doesn't have a lot of weight. Yeah, that's not weighted enough. See if I got something here. Do a slickness test. Let's see. I'll have a race. They're pretty even. So I think they both give great amount of slickness. I'm going to give a slight advantage to SPW just because it all came off with just one simple wipe as far as drying goes. Now, you may have to use a microfiber, but like I said, these towels, Dreadnought towels are just fantastic. They usually clean very well. And there were some areas that even with the clay, that the Meguiar's, because this is all going to be fallout here, so this is kind of, that's not going to come off with that. You need some sort of chemical decontamination. That's in the paint. That's actually like a paint nick. That's a chip. They both cleaned up very well. They're both super, super slick. So what we'll do is, as a clay lube, they both pass. Like I said, I would give a slight advantage to SPW. What we'll do here is we'll get ready and we'll do a hydrophobic test. And then ultimately the kicker will be which one lasts the longest. So we'll get ready to see how these test out with hydrophobics. All right, so now here we have the hydrophobic test. Of course, I can't wait for these things, so I already started cheating and doing it, but we're gonna do a live video. Well, it's not live, it's recorded. We're gonna do the video now. So, Meguiar's ceramic hybrid super duper detailer, that's not what it's called. The Meguiar's hybrid ceramic detailer, SPW by Clearfinish, their silica perfect wash, that's what SPW stands for. You probably can already see I'm cheating. I already know what's going on, but let's spray it down and just take a look. So the Meguiar's has definitely hydrophobic properties. It beads right off. So does the SPW, but the SPW gives you more of a sheeting. So when we go in the middle here, the SPW is more of a sheeting. Meguiar's is more of a beading. Which is better? I don't know. I would think that as this sheets, it's gonna pull more dirt off, so the self-cleaning abilities will be a little bit better. You can see how it pulls all the water, where if the car is staying still, the dirt is gonna stick to it. Now, if some wind hits it or air or whatever, it'll probably just fly right off. Let's see how the hood reacts with a bigger surface area. Now this we did a little bit different. We washed this with the Meguiar's, we nano-clayed it, and then we washed it again and dried it. You can see, I mean, that reacts just like, a good SiO2 sealant, which this is the main additive is SiO2. That's the main protectant in there. And it's funny, as the angle changes on the plane of surface, so do the hydrophobic. So we noticed on the bumper it was more of a sheeting, and now in here we just have more of a hydrophobic. So that's something that's kind of interesting. If you go right in the middle here, they're pretty much almost identical. So the SPW seems to act differently on vertical panels, whereas on horizontal, more of a horizontal panel, they both just kind of beat up and just kind of react. But both, I would say that the SPW, though, the water kind of shoots down quicker. Let's watch that one more time. It seems like more of it is repelling. Now, if we go over to the Meguiar side, I guess it shoots off pretty evenly. They're pretty close. There's definitely a definitive difference on the bumper. There's definitely more of almost like a hydrophilic sheeting. And here it's just straight hydrophobic. Which is better? We'll find out. We're gonna see this car next month, so we're just gonna give it a 30-day test out in the elements of Florida. So we're gonna see bugs, we're gonna see bugs, we're gonna see bugs. Did I mention we're gonna see bugs? And dirt, and it's white, and we'll see which one cleans better, which one holds up longest in about 30 days, and hopefully I'm not wearing the same outfit. So we're gonna finish washing this, get this back to the customer, and we're gonna time lapse now and fast forward to the next section. So.